bring on our first guest so we can get to the point. My first guest today is Joel Comm. I love Mr. Joel Comm, one of my favorite people on the planet to bounce ideas to as an entrepreneur. He is truly, when it comes to the digital age, Joel's led the way. And I'll let him jump in to talk about his famous apps that have got him featured on Jimmy Kimmel and other places. But my first guest is Joel Comm. So let's welcome Mr. Joel Comm to the show.
Hello, Eric
Joel.
Mitchell. How you
Hello,
doing, brother?
Sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hunkered and bunkered in Denver. It is 420. And from my 23rd story apartment, I could probably, if I knew exactly where they were, point to a dozen different dispensaries right from here.
Well, you're in what they've, it's funny. You would think California or Oregon or Washington would be the weed capital of the world. It's always the state of Colorado that is mentioned as the kind of the forefathers of legalization. And that's not what I want to talk about with you.
Can I just say
you are in Colorado, so it makes it a little easier for us to talk about. But, it is a small business, right? So we will touch on that before we jump into, I know we have some amazing things we want to talk about. And I see your awesome banner behind you that we will talk about because I want people to go to it. I highly encourage it. I have no camera, but hopefully you can still hear me.
We hear you, though. You sound good.
Can you hear me, though?
You sound great.
Oh, good. So as long as you can hear me.
You've never looked better, actually.
I don't know what happened here, but we're just going to go to you solo. Let's go to Joel solo, and I'll just
share a story while you refresh your camera there. So
I don't know. I'm trying a new camera today, and this is what I get for a new camera. It worked all weekend. And
it's all good, brother. I used to smoke like crazy when I was in college because who didn't? I was a real stoner. I mean, all through college, I was the guy who was up last at night and woke up in the morning and grabbed a bong. I don't smoke anymore. I stopped years ago. And when it became legal here, I thought, let me, try it again. And I tried it again. I'm like, yeah, I remembered why I quit. And I have no problem with people, lighten up if they want to. Do what you want to do. God bless America. And it's not for me anymore. Which is just funny because it's everywhere, and I could easily get it. So I'm taking over Eric's show. I'm getting to the point, and
I love it. I'll interview you this. I'm waiting for the camera to come up. Hey, this works. I have you on camera, so that's all that really matters. Yeah. So Joel, I know that you tell people a little bit about yourself, right? Before we jump into why I wanted you on the show, tell them, I do know you have a famous app. Well, you have several famous apps. You are kind of the resident. People say Mark Cuban is the digital, grandfather of entrepreneurship. I would argue that you are.
Well, I don't know about that, Cuban.
But you don't own the Mavericks, but you know what I mean.
And not only that, but I remember I had a friend who was working for Cuban when I was back in Dallas in 1995 when he developed AudioNet. There's a guy that I know that was working with Mark. He left just before it went, became broadcast.com and Cuban sold it for billions. So, he made billions. I made a fart app that, has been downloaded millions of times. So kind of apples and broccoli right there. So I would say he's been way more successful than but I'm happy with what I've done. I've been building websites and doing online business since 1995. And since that time, I've done just about everything that's not illegal, immoral, or fattening, from blogging and writing articles to making videos, doing live video, pioneering the social media sphere, speaking. I've written 15 books. I've made apps. I've developed software. I've created information products, social media marketing, affiliate marketing. Like I said, I've dabbled in a lot of different things. And now I've gone down the cryptocurrency rabbit hole, and myself and Travis Wright started a podcast about 2.5 years ago called the Bad Crypto Podcast. And that's been our main jam.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about crypto. I know I'm not alone. When people hear the word crypto, they're like, what what does that even mean? It sounds great because I've had people, even clients as an entrepreneur, people are like, hey, I'm going to pay you in crypto. And I'm like, is that like monopoly money? Are you just going to throw they're like, I'm going to pay you 1 million Bitcoin. I'm like, I don't even know what that means.
It's a digital currency. And if anybody's paying you 1 million Bitcoin, take it. because one Bitcoin's worth about $7,000 right now.
Oh, wow.
It's a form of digital currency that's not dependent upon existing fiat currencies, which the government prints endlessly, driving inflation and making everything more expensive. When it comes to Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoin ever in existence. They can't make more. You can't change how many are in existence, and therefore it's deflationary rather than inflationary. In an era where we are doing digital payments anyway with dollars, right? A lot of our banking is digital, PayPal's digital, Venmo. Well, imagine a different form of currency that is much faster, that only takes seconds to minutes to send, with incredibly low transaction fees, and are decentralized so that no one single bank or government body or organization has control over that currency. It's a currency that empowers people. And everybody who's in earshot of this right now, you will be using cryptocurrency, and it's coming sooner than you think. So go down the rabbit hole and start learning about it so that you're prepared when this massive shift happens in the way we handle payments, transactions, contracts. It's blockchain technology, which is what underpins Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, is going to impact and change just about every vertical you can think of. Eric, you with us, buddy? Now I'm truly taking over the Eric Mitchell Show, and I'm going to get right to the point. So if you want to learn more about cryptocurrency and blockchain, just subscribe to the Bad Crypto Podcast. You can find it on all the channels. Welcome back, Eric.
I'm back. All these technical difficulties, and I'm back. I had to.
It's a good thing I can carry a show.
Thank God you can. I was like, other guests, this would have freaked me out, but it's you. So I was just going to bring in your next guest. Well, the next guest, so it would work.
Your microphone though is kind of winded, like I'm getting you have a real background behind you. That's not a green screen.
No sir, hold on, I know why. It's because I was moving around and I knocked my microphone.
You look good, by the way. Oh yeah, we're getting it's like wind blowing through Oklahoma right now.
Sweet. I love Oklahoma.
There you go. I lived there for 8 years.
Did you?
I did. I lived I'm from Illinois. Went to University of Illinois, ILLINI, Champaign-Urbana. And as soon as I graduated college at 21, I moved to Texas, lived there for 12 years, lived in central Oklahoma for 8, and I've been in northern Colorado since 2007, and I love Denver.
Outstanding. I'll check that out. Well, this was an interesting interview, was it? We had a couple minutes left, and now that I'm back on camera, which was weird that I wasn't, but technical difficulties happen even in live TV. I've watched it happen. I was actually, true story, was at a local TV station, and all of their cams went down. They had some glitch because everybody thinks because they watch network TV that there's like 100 people on a set. And regional TV, that's not that way. There's actually like a person in the control room and the crew, and they're moving the cameras around, and they just don't get it. So it's I don't feel too bad when we have these
stuff
issues.
Happens, and being real about it, I think people appreciate that more. It's one of the things I like about live video is you don't have to have a script, you don't have to have a fancy background, you don't have to have your hair and makeup on point, because people identify with real and authentic.
Absolutely. So Joel, before we go, let's talk about that. You are the person that I like to hear speak about when it comes to visual content. Mm-hmm. And our next guest, of course, is George Bryant, which you're the one that introduced me to George.
Love George.
You're very familiar with the man. When it comes to video, and now we're all at home, I know you and I both have always worked from home. This is like nothing new to us. It's like Monday, where other people are like, it's week 8 of working from home.
I don't even know what day it is. It doesn't. They're all the same to me.
I only know it's Monday because the Jordan documentary was on last night, and that's the only reason I'm aware of it was Sunday, because now I have to wait 7 days. But tell people why they should get on. Encouraging them to use video more is the wave of the future, and the wave of the future is here now.
Well, I think that, live video is the most social form of social media we have, right? It's the next best thing to being in person, with somebody in the room, because so much communication is body language and facial expressions. You could tell if I'm happy, just by looking at me, or if I'm angry, right? You could tell right away just by looking at somebody. Ooh, I like your lower thirds there, by the way. Very nice. I like your logo. I like your little intro thing. The fact that you did polish it is nice. Doesn't have to be, but it definitely raises the bar, especially if you want to get a network or a cable show of your own. Know what I mean?
That's kind of the goal.
But here's the thing. People are scared of going live, and you don't have to be, because you don't need all of this. In fact, let me demonstrate by just turning off my virtual background. There I am in my home office. And it removed all my makeup, so I don't wear. You're
still a beautiful man.
I did shower and blow dry my hair for you, though. But, it's unscripted. Which is why I don't like getting questions in advance when people are going to interview me. I don't want to know. I want to have an authentic, in the moment conversation. So, if you're in business for yourself, turn on the camera, talk to people, ask them questions, engage with their comments, show them behind the scenes, tell them stories, introduce them to the team, to what it is you do. How do you make the donuts? Just connect with people in a real, authentic way. And all you need to do that is this device right here, because you can go live on Facebook. You can go live on Periscope, which is Twitter. You can go live on YouTube, and there's many other apps. And all you got to do is hit the button and stay and go.
You said it the best, and that's what I've been encouraging people to do. So that's why I really wanted you on as we enter another week. And no matter what, everybody thinks we're going to flip some switch. Yeah, they're opening beaches up. Let's be very real about, we're not done working for, and I know we didn't get, I have to have you back on because
don't get me started.
That rabbit hole.
Don't get me started.
I know. We'll have you back on. If you're available next week, let's have you back on to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, next week is going to be crazy, because next week is this. We're putting on a week-long conference called Virtual Blockchain Week. And if you go to virtualblockchainweek.com, you can go register for free. I'll just leave it at that right now. Go to the site, watch the video, and go, oh, damn, it's free. I'm in.
Sweet. I love it. Well, Joel, thank you for coming on today.